What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, James.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to episode 1, Wrestling on the Rocks. I'm Matt Ref Marsh, your WTR of the show. With me today for my Thursday night chaser, Miss AmandaJayne.
Well, hey everybody.
Yeah, I messed up. I didn't have my mic on, so take a drink. Technical difficulties. Only episode 1. Nobody worry.
Oh God. Well, it's not my fault this time.
Yes, this time.
Yeah, I felt like I was running a track record almost 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Splinter Fox already in the chat. Cheers to Splinter Fox. Amanda, what's in your drink? What do you got? What's in your glass?
Well, I've got a plethora of beverages. Not only do I have regular Coke, but we are doing tonight the Golden State Cider, the Mighty Dry, the original. So no Jamaica today.
I forgot to write that down. I meant to write that
down. Oh yeah,
last time.
Not like I don't have a lot of it. So shout out to that. So I'm drinking it in my handy dandy little guy here. It's fall. I feel like, fall is like apples. I don't like pumpkin shit. So
it's called the Golden State Cider?
Yeah, it is the Golden State Cider. And there's a little on the can. There's a little otter right here, basking in the
big
sun.
Clam, right?
No, that's not a clam. It's a sun. He's in the
laying
water.
in a clam.
He's not in a clam.
It looks like a clam.
Oh, well, if it looks like a clam, no, because I don't know how much you can see the detail, but look, I mean, hard to show, but you pull up their website and you'll see he's actually floating in the water, and that's the sun going down. It's very hippie looking, like you could also say he's in orange juice with an orange behind him. But I don't know.
True. Let me see. Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah, now I see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, though, if you had like maybe 10 of them or so, you'd probably think that he wasn't a clam. But, But then again, I don't think clams don't have shit like that, right? In the clam, I don't know. The only thing I'm thinking of
it could be a pearl in there, but you know what I mean? I thought he was holding like a little pearl in a big clam.
I thought that those are oysters that have the pearl.
Is that an oyster thing? I thought clams had
I don't know.
pearls.
I don't know. All I know is I'm thinking of, in Alice in Wonderland in the cartoon, the oysters with the walrus and the carpenter.
Yeah, you can see the little water waves on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
It could be like I said, it could be an orange juice, and that's big orange behind him. I don't know.
Jamaica cider? Wow.
Yeah. Interpret it as you will. Yeah. Oh, the which one?
Jamaica. They have a Jamaica cider. It's a pretty popular drink over here in the Southwest.
What, the pink one? The red label?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was calling it Jamaica, but anyways.
Oh, it's Jamaica.
Jamaica. Okay, well, excuse me.
Ginger grass. They got some pretty cool ones in there.
Right. That's the one I drank last week, with the hibiscus and the champagne yeast. So it's a little bit more, like, not as cidery. Very, very tasty. But I want the limited edition ones, the pineapple one, and then I think today it's guava is the new one, the paradise ones.
Radical Paradise and
yeah, Radical Paradise is amazing. I've only had it on tap because that's how they only used to sell it. On
that
tap.
One is apples infused with pineapples and cinnamon sticks.
Yes, it's amazing. I'm a huge fan of that one. Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Very good stuff. I'm just having some Crystal Light tea with some vodka, and I put some mint CBD in there just to help with my back a little bit, and so give it a little minty kick, and it's great. It's actually great.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Big fan. Big fan.
Good times.
Well, let's start off with the easy stuff. This week was, I felt like there was a lot of hits and misses. As per usual. I was surprised at what I did like, and based off a lot of the chatter online, I was surprised at things that I expected to like more than I did, and yeah, I think we'll have a good time with it. We want to hit us with a few birthdays?
Oh yeah, birthdays are kind of light this week, but today, a couple of people. First of all, Ayo, rest in peace, man. It would have been your birthday.
Yeah,
today,
happy birthday, Scott Hall.
Scott Hall. Chavo Guerrero, happy birthday. And then a lot of cool birthdays. D'Lo Brown has a birthday. He had a really
better
great
recognize.
match. Yeah, and he had a great match, I thought, with Ethan Page at the LA. It was the LA Confidential one where Gage and Arquette. That would be a great one to do a watch along to. I think that would be a fun one.
D'Lo, Nick Gage, and Arquette.
No. D'Lo fought Ethan Page on that same show, but it's from that night. Yeah, but I think that Gage and Arquette, that would be a good one. I'll watch along.
It's a classic one. It is a classic.
Only because, he really didn't, you can tell during that match, he really didn't know who Nick Gage was.
Yes.
You could totally tell. So.
Did you see the documentary that he made with RJ City? The documentary with RJ City, the You Can't Kill David Arquette? Mm-hmm. I still haven't seen that.
I've only seen parts of it, but I want to see it though. And still, Reina de Reyes champion, Taya Valkyrie, happy birthday.
Oh,
yeah. I think that what she's doing right now, if you've kind of seen a little bit what she's doing with Rosemary and Jessica, because Jessica's sick.
And she just beat Camille, right?
Yeah, that was a war, her and Camille.
That wasn't for a title, was it?
Yes, it was. It was for
what
the
title?
The Reina's championship, the AAA one.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was Triple Mania.
I guess that's Camille's first loss.
Yeah.
So
that shocked me, actually, to be honest. Like, I thought maybe, Camille would get it, because she's much improved since when we first saw her wrestle and everything, and she hadn't had a loss yet, but it was a pretty decent battle right there. And then, of course, if anyone did watch Triple Mania, you might have seen some really crazy gringo up in the front row. Shout out to Roy.
Shout out to a friend of the show, Roy.
Yep, totally there, just loving that lucha life. And man, some of his
Yeah.
photos were great. And he was telling me about the GCW the Junkyard show that they usually do after the day after AAA, and how he was talking about. He said Janela is just a beast. Yeah, Janela slit his one of his arteries in his arm.
Yeah.
Didn't notice it, and then all of a sudden looked down like, oh, it's gushing. Oh,
Yeah. That's a lot.
but yeah, just kept on going, and he said he was fine. All it took was couple stitches, and that was it. So, shout out to you, Joey Janela.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it looked really cool though. I mean, you could definitely tell that GCW is one where, they're going worldwide. I mean, Japan, they're going back again, and obviously the things they're doing in Mexico. So, and I think they went to the UK. So, lots of stuff coming out from them. So,
Yeah.
kind of cool to see that evolution. Then a favorite of the shows. Let's put our wine glasses up. Carmella's birthday.
Oh,
This
I got a
week.
little Capicania back
Yep.
here too.
I
Yep.
see it back
Cheers
there.
and happy birthday to Carmella.
Cheersy, cheersy.
Yep.
Triple Scorpio having a birthday this week. Let's see here. Oh, hold on, lost one. One of my personal favorite New Japan. Well, actually, even beyond New Japan, one of my personal favorites. Taka Michinoku, happy birthday.
Oh, I loved Taka growing up.
Love Taka. Taka's great. I mean, him and Zack Sabre Jr., that was the best little combo right there. And then they tried to throw Tai Chi on me and to make them likable. Well, they're kind of likable now because they have this weird little gay banter that's kind of cute. Yeah, they want to get married and whatever. And it's really kind of funny to see with Zack Saber's. Well, he speaks Japanese, but not well, maybe it's fluent. I don't know, but it's cute to see. Let's see here. Former WWE diva Rosa Mendez, happy birthday. You don't hear much about her. You hear about, how some of these other ladies have, been doing around from that era, but you don't hear much about her though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little interesting with that one. Let's see, who do we have? For those who well, I don't know. I'm gonna put this the nicest way. There are at least two people who do not wish you a happy birthday. I am one of them. So Phil, happy birthday. I wish you'd get hit by a truck when walking across the street in Wicker Park, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I saw some rumor mills trying to say that they're coming to terms with the return between him and the Elite and all that because they added him in a video package for the Ring of Honor thing. I don't think that you can read that much into it. I think they were trying to
put every
highlight all the
champion
champions. Yeah.
Of Ring of Honor in there. If anybody is going to be coming back to Ring of Honor, I have a feeling that maybe Nigel McGuinness might be.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a
coming
shock.
out. Yeah, I'm waiting for that, and honestly, I'm always in the camp of, Nigel and in Ring of Honor, man, that that's always old home to me. But so those are our birthdays this week. So happy
Very good.
birthday to everybody but one.
Yep.
And you put that on yourself.
Yep.
But wait a minute, I thought someone was suing somebody.
That's what I mean. I think people are reading into it because on this week's Dynamite, the Ring of Honor package had Phil in it, and then during the trios match, Shivani said something like the inaugural champs was the Elite. Spinner Fox says I was shocked they said the Elite on TV, and I was like, wow. I think that there's also a certain point where
you can't. You have to acknowledge something.
Yeah, I mean, if you also don't want to be compared to WWE all the time, especially when you try and compare yourself to WWE all the time, the last thing you're going to want to do is erase history and pretend something never happened, because that's a very Vince thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to say you're different then, and as long as you're not acknowledging the fallout or whatever altercation or backlash or potentially whatever libel suit any of that stuff, you don't acknowledge any of that, but you acknowledge the characters as having existed as champions, I think you are fine, and I don't think it means they're coming back. I'm not saying they aren't, but I'm saying I think people are reading too much into that particular thing.
People are dumb though. That's the thing. It's like, let it be.
Fox says he doesn't even watch AEW live anymore. Says he's over it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Turns out we were right all along. I'm just kidding.
We usually are right all along.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
You want to start off with AEW and then we'll talk some NXT?
Yeah,
because the only stuff that's really news-wise at all is stuff that happened within the program and is worth talking about. Like, obviously, Paige was injured and it was not as severe as people thought. So, I mean, good news. But the only other news that I saw was real sad, tears in our beers. Kevin Nash's son passed away. I think he was like 26 years old. I don't know the cause or anything like that, but just tragic and awful. And yeah, it just sucks. Like, what are you going to do? So yeah, thoughts go out to him and well wishes to the family as far as, you know, just getting through it. Like, it's an impossible thing, you know? So
yeah, that's a hard one. But
yeah,
there was a little chatter about with Toni Storm, I guess, saying that she's sick of this whole interim women's shit. I don't know if you saw that.
No, what is it?
And you had thoughts about it, because I mean,
her entire segment I watched mute. And I'm not saying I did that because I didn't want to hear her commentary like that. Just kind of the way that I ended up having to watch shows this week, I was kind of picking and choosing what I was listening to. And when it comes to Toni Storm versus Sheeta, commentary is not going to bring anything to me. I am already fans of both of them, and I already want to watch them. And look, like it or not, commentary has never on this show added story or depth to any characters that I've already enjoyed. Sometimes they'll fill in some gaps about people who I have no idea who they are. I know Toni and Sheeta well enough. I didn't feel necessary to listen to what they had to say. And I'm more often than not annoyed by their commentary than otherwise. So I just didn't listen to it with sound. So if they said anything about champion versus interim, I missed it.
No. That was actually Toni Storm was quoted.
Oh, what'd you say?
Saying that she isn't... she's just sick of this interim title. Basically kind of alluding to is Rosa faking or injury.
Let me see. Spinner Fox says, yeah, that sucks, Nash. We're thinking about you. And yeah, I blank out commentary, mostly Raw. And I mean, it's all preferences. Like, I get it. But she said that in interviews. She doesn't think of it as an interim championship.
She's tired of calling it an interim championship. She's the champion. Why are we doing that? And it's basically, I think, alluding to the fact that it's Thunder Rosa faking it.
Oh. That's so bogus, too, because Thunder's definitively not faking it.
No.
This is a serious back injury she has, and she can't just go in there and take bumps.
Yeah. And she's not the kind of person, it was hard for her to even tell people. Like, when she did her announcement, it was hard for her. You can tell, Yeah. And I think that, honestly, at the end of the day, it's great to have a lot of these really powerful women around. Because for me, the less and less we see of Dr. Britt Baker DMD is better.
The better.
Because I think that, like, with Sheeta, and this is what I got out of that match, was, Sheeta was actually, for me, a lot more because of their history. It actually drew me in a little bit more than a match that Sheeta would have with anybody else. And then now with Rio back, that's going to be another interesting little thing that happens. So we'll see. But that's what I got out of the match. I mean, it was a great match, but that's what I got out of it was I looked at it in a different way, because these are people who work together in pretty much that style of what Sheeta, is used to, and what, she does when she's not in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did like the match. I thought it was pretty solid. I didn't give any. Couldn't care less that Riho had showed up. Other than it's gonna be something for me. I've never enjoyed a single moment of Riho. Whatever, it's fine. If people like her, that's cool. But I'm not gonna sit there and watch a match of hers with Toni Storm.
She's unrealistic to me because she's not even 100 pounds.
Well, she also doesn't hit people. Like, not only is she light and small, but it's not like she's like throwing her body weight into people. I mean, for better or worse, she's protecting the opponent a lot, but she doesn't look like she's even getting close to connecting. You might as well be throwing around a pillow putty, like, buddy. It's ridiculous.
During that segment when she ran out, I was like, oh, actually looks like she drop kicked whoever pretty hard. And but Jamie hit her, I can't remember. But anyways.
Yeah, I've never gone into that. Spinner Fox to say, I'm tired of AEW trying to be like UFC. Throw that stuff out the window and forget about the rankings too. They're so meaningless. I agree with that too. Like, realistically, if Thunder Rosa's injured, right? If she can't defend the title in 30 days or more, then reinstate that kind of rule. I know WWF had it for a long time. It was, hey, if you can't defend the championship in 30 days, then we strip the championship of you. Like, it sucks, but that's the fact of the matter. I'm not saying that I wish they would strip the title off of Thunder, but having not stripped the title off of Thunder, what have we really done here? Now we're undermining the person, and we're not just rooting for the healing of a person or character. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, now their storyline that they're building in between Tony and Britt and everyone else, and what they're saying to the dirt sheets and stuff, is that she's faking it. I mean, are we in a spot that's like better now because of that? Like, I mean, maybe they should have just stripped her of the title and just said, hey, we're going to do a different thing, and when she's better, she'll come back and she'll be the first person to contend for it. Like, but yeah, the interim championship thing is getting a little tired.
Yeah, I think with Thunder Rosa is she's so beloved by so many people that there's quite a few who specifically just watch the programming for her.
Yes, from the fan base perspective, yeah.
Yeah, from the fan base perspective. And I think that Tony knows that and realizes that. And that's probably pretty much one of the only people on his rosters that are like that. Because nobody else, well, I can't name another person who would be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fox says he thinks it's disrespectful to Storm. 30 days and that is all. Give her a shot when she comes back. I don't know if calling an interim championship is disrespectful to Storm. I think Storm's being more disrespectful from not respecting Thunder and just being like, you know, I have no problem holding up this division and I can't wait to fight, you know, the champ when she comes back. Like, you know, like for Storm to be undermining her consistently and constantly talking about like if she's injured or not, like it's just, that's, to me, it's feeding into Storm's ego and makes her kind of look shitty in my mind. Yeah. As much as I'm a fan of Tony and have really liked her for a long time, the more she talks about Thunder, the less and less I like her. I'm like, show some respect for people who are actually injured. You know, it's stupid. Spinner Fox to say, I'm so scared that Saraya is going to face Britt and get hurt right off the bat. I know. Me too, man.
Well,
I honestly think there's a really good chance of that.
Here's my comment about that, Spinner Fox. She wants to wrestle so bad. She knows. I hope she knows. She knows what she's getting into.
Yep. Let's see. Going through some of the AEW stuff, though, I don't think I have anything else to say about Thunder Rosa and Shida.
Yeah, but I want to rewind before we go further into Dynamite. Let's rewind to Rampage.
Okay, what happened on Rampage?
Got a big bee in my bonnet that just needs to explode.
That makes sense.
Of all of the moves that Tony Khan has done, this one was not a good move at all.
What did he do?
All of a sudden, Maria Kanellis Bennett, Mike Bennett, and the man who single-handedly helped destroy ROH, Matt Taven, showed up.
Oh, that's such a I mean, yeah, put him on Rampage. Who cares?
Well, no. I do not want Matt Taven anywhere near any of the damn AEW product. Because one, it's like, first of all, you suck, okay? And when we start seeing shit like this happen, next thing you know, we're going to have Bully Ray here and all this other shit. And, you know, and Tony's such a fucking ECW mark and probably gets a hard on just thinking about the future and what that could kind of hold. No, these were people, and not Mike and Maria, because I love Mike and Maria. Okay, this was a man who basically ruined the company he bought. Do we want that again? No, I don't want that. No, he needs to be far away because it just brings trouble.
I don't care about any of them. If they're on Rampage, I care even less. Like, they
I
might as
know
well
you
not be on
do.
the product.
He's taking TV time away from people who,
No, he's not.
where are
It's
they?
Rampage.
No, doesn't matter. That's where you find Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. You know?
But it's
Where
not
have
where
they
you should
been?
find them. It's still nowhere. You know what I mean? Rampage is such a
I know, it's
non-issue.
still nowhere, but still, it was better than nothing. You know? We've seen more Brian Cage since his return than we've seen Brian Cage when he was when he wasn't Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
when he was AEW. When he was in Team
That's the
Tag.
other thing, too, is they didn't say they signed any of those three. They just put them on there. And
I know, but still, it doesn't matter. I don't want their fans around. They're awful people. Yeah. I don't even want them at Ring of Honor, to be quite honest, because I'm like, gosh, that's the only place I can go see Colt Cabana, and you're going to throw that in there.
Yeah, they definitely don't
Thanks.
make me tune in.
No, he's awful, and his fans are awful, and I'm not going anyway. Yeah, no, please, Tony Khan, stop, okay? If you're going to make moves like this, okay, be a fucking man. Grow a set of cojones and do the one thing that no one wants to do. I would do it. Fucking bring Marty Scurll to TV, okay? He's less problematic than fucking Matt Cardona. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
But you did. You already did it.
But I did. But yes. So, anyways, I'm off my soapbox. The bee is now flown out of my bonnet, and I'm fine.
Spinner Fox says they say it all the time, though. Interim this, interim that. Cut the shit.
Yeah.
Them saying it is fine. Tony undermining it is a problem to me. Because she's also supposed to be a fan favorite, right? She's not a heel. That's a real asshole thing to do, to go out there and say that somebody who's actually injured is pretending for sake of you want to be called the champion and not the interim champion. Like,
and this is the person that's beloved by a lot of fans of women wrestling, fans of that division, if they even have fans. Let's go there.
Spinner Fox says, I seen a tweet from Mercedes Martinez looking for a challenger. I thought she was hurt. I don't even know where she's been. She's the women's champion for ROH, isn't she?
I think it's, you know what, if she was hurt, she's had a lot of time to recover.
A lot of time.
Yeah,
says,
like
so now
even
what the fuck, Tony? Why are you not putting that title on TV like all the others? Yeah. What is beef? What is this beef with the women? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
And speaking of Rampage next week, I really hope that Nyla gives Jade Cargill back her belt, because Jade has now threatened to take over Rampage the whole hour.
Whatever, let her. No one's watching.
Yeah, I know.
Let her have it. Let her do a whole episode. Matter of fact, it might actually be really funny to watch her try and run a whole episode.
That, you know what? You're right. Now that you make me think
It
about
might be
that.
a reason to worth watch. It might be worth watching Rampage if Cargill's trying to carry an entire hour. That'd be hysterical.
Like, what is she gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
You know, what's she gonna do? Cut that shit, Tony? How many times can you say that?
You can't even
Like,
carry a 10-minute match. What are you gonna do for an hour? It was gonna be great.
I can't even.
Yeah.
She can't even.
And a
carry
3-minute scripted promo you can't do.
Yeah.
It's great.
Same thing. Yeah. No.
In fact, says he doesn't want to watch AEW till the Elite comes back. I really don't want to watch it until Thunder Rosa comes back, if I'm being honest too.
Well,
what do you think about
here's
the opening thing, the Death Triangle versus Orange Cassidy and
Yeah.
Best Friends? I didn't give a shit about any of that. I didn't even watch it. I heard Orange Cassidy brought his belt in a backpack.
Yeah, he brought it in a backpack because he's too cool for school. A lot of Orange Cassidy cosplayers out there, little kids and women. But what's interesting, I guess, is I think Pac's going to turn on the Triangle, because they're going to give the Lucha Brothers a face run again. But, you know, honestly, like, you know, I think maybe Pac might be going back. I wonder.
Do you think?
Maybe?
You know, the stuff that he did in NXT with Triple H was pretty remarkable.
I was gonna say, wasn't he a Triple H guy?
Yeah, because he was also big on the 205 Live, and that was a Triple H project.
So it makes sense.
It wouldn't be a shock now that you mention it.
Yeah.
It would be a
Yeah, it would not-
surprise, but it wouldn't be like, how could this happen? You'd be like, oh shit, it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where
Spinnerfuck says he ripped off Kylie Ray's gimmick. Damn it, that backpack thing was her thing in Warrior Wrestling. Yeah, and they're actually friends. Didn't they do a lot of stuff together? Cassidy and Kylie Ray.
I don't know.
I feel like they did a bunch together.
Maybe they did. I don't know. Unless she did a lot of like Beyond Wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only woman I ever really associate with Beyond Wrestling is a piece of shit woman.
I know that she we watched her match with Orange Cassidy the once, and they had really nice chemistry together. You can see Renee Paquette doing all the backstage interviews was fine. So I like Renee. I think she does a good job. I'm a little confused at the people who are trying to pretend like it's a bigger deal than it is. Renee's not going to change the feel of the whole show. She's not suddenly bringing this massive credibility to the whole show. She's just making those segments flow better and sound better. Like, she's an enhancement for sure. Yeah, but it's weird the way people are all like, oh, this is it. This is going to change everything. She's not in charge of everything. She's like, she's just making the interview sound a little bit better.
No, I think it would be more impactful if she got back into doing commentary again.
Yes.
That would be a little bit more impactful. But let's be real. Do we want like Marvez to keep interviewing people?
Yeah, we needed a new better person backstage.
Like, so like, dude, I get it. Like, no, but it's okay. It's a change of pace.
But I was thinking, it's a change of pace and it's good. I mean, and really realistically, like, unfortunately, she's doing a backstage interview with Dana Bryan and Wheeler. And once Wheeler started talking, the whole flow of the thing just shifted into play wrestling. It was so crazy. Renee and Daniel go back and forth so smooth and effortlessly and conversational and so realistically and naturally. And Wheeler can't help but be a cartoon. Like, he's just not used to acting normal. He's acting. So all of his reactions, like, is that how you react as a person? If it is, like, you need to chill down. And then when he started talking, it was that wrestler cadence and this like over exaggeration, and you're like, he suddenly stood out in not the best way, being surrounded by the two of them, because they've also worked so much together. They're so natural together. This is going to be easy for them. Wheeler's not taking enough pointers from them. I'm not saying that they're giving him and he's ignoring them. I'm saying he's not studying what they're doing enough,
And then what made me laugh too is the camera work. Again, why does AEW have such shitty camera work?
Yes.
There was a shot where they were on her when he was going off on something, and she just was like, "What the fuck?" on her face. And then they showed Daniel, Bryan Danielson. He had that look on his face, and I'm like, this is like a train wreck.
Yeah, it was bad. Spinnerfox does say, go ahead.
When you put shit on, well, that's what happens when you put shit on people who aren't fully.
They're not ready.
Prepared.
Yeah.
They're not ready. I'm not saying everyone has to be fucking Ricky Starks on the microphone. Just give them the microphone and they're just like, oh, it's great. No.
I can't help but laugh a little bit because, I mean, Fox even says it. Yuta was so hot and now I don't know. When he first joined with Blackpool Combat Club and he had his first match with like Mox, people online, which we even said at the time was like, relax. But they were online being like, it's like we're watching The Rock and Stone Cold and this is the guy who's going to carry the whole company. And you're like, okay, you're getting way ahead of yourself. He's nowhere near that. Not that he can't get there, but he's not there. And it feels like Tony thinks he was there too, and just goes, "Oh yeah, give him everything." And then he's falling on his face, and it's like, how could this have happened? Because you're not playing to people's strengths.
But why isn't he, like, people who can hit it out of the park? Why doesn't he do it? Why is he gun shy with it?
Yep. And he doesn't do that. Spinfox says AEW's on life support. Mox is starting to piss me off. That's kind of funny. And I'm back and forth on Mox a lot. I think I like some of the stuff. I don't like others. I was noticing that there's like there's a big issue with a lot of these guys who get themselves over. The Moxes, the MJFs. They go against everything that I've heard Paul Heyman ever say about what makes a good promo and how do you build people, right? And even Becky Lynch was in an interview this past week, and she talked about the difference between being a babyface and a heel. Being a babyface, it's all about me. How do I make myself look good? And guys cheer me, and guys need to follow me, and this is what makes me great. And there's a very self-centeredness to being a babyface, which is really tough because it's also like you also have to like me, but I have to be speaking on behalf of me and saying I'm doing it for you. And so it's this altruistic self-obsession, right? Where with a heel, it's all about making that person look good. You're supposed to hate me, and everything I say and do is supposed to make you go, no, that's true of the other person, and no, you're being an asshole. That person's working hard and all this, right? So when I listen to like Moxley and MJF and these good talkers, all they're trying to do is tear down the other person. They're not building up. And Paul Heyman said this: a good promo builds up your opponent into something that's fantastical. So when you beat them, you've beat something. You've beat someone. You've made it mean something. Every time Mox grabs the mic and talks on someone, he just tries to rip them up like they're nothing. And then if he beats them, you go, I guess you were right. Like, you beat up a dude who was a goof. Like, they're not building each other up and building themselves up. I think that's why they're having a hard time, like, making these next level stars and stuff, is because it's like every time you get someone up, their gig now is to tear the rest of the division down to say that this is what makes me great, instead of saying that this division's so great and I'm on top of it, Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that more and more with Mox's promos. He's really tearing down other people and not building them up. Like, he'll say something that's kind of nice, but it's not much.
I've never enjoyed any of his promos, to be quite honest.
I like some of them here and there.
I mean, it's more of, it's very, they have a purpose, obviously, but it's kind of like, dude, sometimes there's just certain people who I don't think should talk.
Mm-hmm.
And he would be more effective if he didn't talk.
Yeah, less is more.
Wheeler Yuta too. I think that if he didn't talk, like before, more effective. But now
one of the weirdest things they did with Blackpool Combat Club was have Moxley talk more than anybody in the whole faction.
Yeah.
When arguably Regal, I don't even think it's an argument, Regal and Daniel Bryan are the two best talkers in the whole thing.
Yeah.
On their whole show. They're the two best talkers that they even have in a company. And to shut them up so Moxley and Wheeler can talk more was really weird.
Yeah. But they let Phil run his mouth,
Yeah, nonstop. Spin Fox says, would love to see you to turn heel and join MJF. I think that'd be cool, but I think I'm tired of MJF having cronies in general.
I'm tired of factions. Tired of, I'm tired of all of that. Like, why can't people stand on their own? I mean, that's what's interesting about this MJF thing. If he's going to really do this on his own and not cheat or whatever, that'd be interesting. I kind of would like to have right. But again, that's where it's like, no. And I think that, I don't know, I just feel that, I don't know, it's really weird. It's just, we don't need all of these. Because another one that I did not know this, and I was like, wow, I had a double take. So I guess there's a new tag team called the Varsity Athletes.
What are you talking about?
Tony Nese and who the hell is it? Smart Mark Sterling's dudes. So it's Tony Nese and whoever the hell else.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, they made them a tag team called the Varsity Athletes. I saw this it was one of the promos for next week or Rampage or whatever. And because I guess they're going to be facing the Acclaimed, or maybe it's next Wednesday. I don't know. But I was like, wait a minute. At first I was like, the Varsity Athletes. I'm like, I didn't know they renamed Griff and Pillman. And I looked, I'm like, oh no, that's not Griff and Pillman. Tony Khan needs to think about some things. I was like,
yeah, that's a mess.
Tacky. That's a mess. That's tacky.
Let's see. Spin Fox says he feels like Regal's going to turn on Blackpool Combat. I could see that. I didn't see it at first until he says in his same chat, Regal's Regal is going to turn and he's going to win like that. Like, I could see Regal turning and helping MJF winning and saying, that's it. That's the fire I wanted out of you. And then now his mentor is Regal, and the two of them could run shop for sure. He said what happened to Cesaro, and he said Joshua, which is the guy you're thinking of, but it's all irrelevant because it's not part of the show we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see. And to get back on topic a little bit, Jay Lethal and Darby Allin, I didn't really listen or watch any of this.
No, to be quite honest, that's a very boring, flat two people to be wrestling each other.
It was weird.
And it's weird not to see Sting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where I'm kind of like, huh? Where's Dad? Why isn't Dad helping out here? Blessed that we get to see Sanjay Dutt and his, like, fucking lameness. I love it. But, I'm like, what happened to Daddy Sting?
Yeah, Sting's not been around in a bit.
Yeah, because winter is coming again, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
He's the face of it. And it had the half of the thing of snow, and I've gotten all excited because I really missed that. Yeah.
Splinter Fox wants MJF and Regal to go to WWE together. I think that'd actually be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
And if you did it right, that could be crazy. Where they're both just kind of off TV for a couple weeks. Then all of a sudden Regal comes out and he's talking on behalf of his client. Wait till you guys see, and everyone goes, no way. And then MJF comes up behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And Splinter Fox thinks it'd be funny if Steve went back to if Sting went back to WWE as well. It'd be funny.
Well, you never know. You never know. I mean,
Face off with
what
Cody.
they're trying to get. Yeah, well, who is all trying to go back? Pac, definitely, as we were talking about, is one I think would go back. Kyle O'Reilly is injured, right?
Yeah, neck fusion. I don't know if he's gonna wrestle.
Yeah, so he's off the shelf. But if he could go back, he probably would. I don't know about Miro. Miro is one that I had such high hopes for.
Yep.
You know? And it's like, yeah.
Yep. I mean, that'd be cool, though, if Regal shows up with MJF and they get into a feud with Cody. Let's see. So I want to talk a little bit about this, though. The Regal MJF segment.
Yes.
Regal says 3-4 words. MJF comes out and cuts this promo. I guess before I say what I think, I want to know what you think. Because a lot of people were tweeting this out. You know, promo of the year, promo of the decade, greatest promo I've ever heard in my life. This is a classic. People will watch this forever. So when I went to go watch it, I was like, oh, it's going to be pretty fucking good. What do you think of this promo?
I won't say that it's the best promo I've ever heard. Promo of the decade, whatever. I don't think so. Because it's typical MJF kind of shit. The woe was me, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Someone else pointed out that every time he cuts a promo, he seems to have a new origin story. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and they all work. And I was like, but they don't all work because that is a collision of canon. You know what I mean? Like, is this why you're mad or not? What drives you? Like,
I don't understand why you're mad. I think you're just maybe mad because I figure MJF, the character of MJF, is like Veruca Salt. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. I want everything daddy.
Yes.
La la la. And I'll bitch and moan until I get my way. Yep. That's MJF. So if you have to kind of lie and tweak the story, that would be something I could see like a Veruca Salt would do. Now, does it help his case any? No. Because people are stupid and tend to forget. Not a lot of people are gonna hold it to the chest and like they're not gonna call him out on it. But most the typical fans, they're just like, oh, he's burning everybody, blah blah blah, you know. So, I mean, it's good. It's not the greatest. Is it impactful for what he's trying to get across? Yeah, for the most part. But you know, I mean, you also got to kind of think of what are people saying is whose promo are they comparing it to, saying it's one of the best? Are you comparing it to Phil's pipe bomb? Are you comparing it to don't know.
Yeah, what's the comparison? It's a good question. Spinnerfox does say MJF remakes all of his promos about his childhoods, etc. Also, can you really believe him? Yeah, every time it's another childhood thing, right? Which I guess to a degree is in and of itself believable because he's so young. So a lot would have had to happen in his childhood that could build him up, and it could be not just this one thing or this one event. It's all these things combined have made me this driven, right? Like, if you told it right, you could paint this big picture of just constantly this bullying, constantly this turn down, constantly this being left behind by the people I looked up to, and just boom, 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 and be like, look at these 10 things created such a chip on my shoulder and such a drive to prove everybody wrong that it also created the delusion that I believe I'm better than everybody, and they know it, and that's why they're jealous, and that's why they made fun of me, and that's why they did those things. So it wasn't a me problem, it was a them problem, right? Like, you could make that argument. I don't think he makes that connection when he's talking. You know what I mean? The other thing he says, like, how many times did you want to quit being a wrestler? More times than Jungle Boy. That's funny. But here's my problem with the promo. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. It was long-winded. It sounded like a monologue. And Splinterfox will like this specifically. And you'll like this. Go listen to a Ricochet promo from 2 years ago. When he was doing the promos with AJ. Listen to his promos when he was in NXT. And I don't mean this in a way to knock Ricochet. I like him a lot, and his promos have come a very far way. But I think the reason people didn't like his promos was because he would start all of them out with, typical wrestling trope, and then he had a cadence. Listen to Ricochet's cadence and listen to MJF's cadence. Same one. MJF had typical monologue wrestling promo cadence. And then with the clever bits where he breaks, no. Like, everything was so scripted and practiced that it came off as reciting. I didn't feel off the cuff. And the reason I can say that confidently, even though he'll never say he did, and I wouldn't expect him to, and he'll tear me up and say my family's ugly and call me fat and whatever, and you go, oh, you got me there. Listen to him do his interview with Sam Roberts. You can hear him be in character and have a conversation and not be reciting in cadence. That person who was on the Sam Roberts, Not Sam Wrestling podcast said basically similar things, stayed completely in character, and he does the whole I'm not in character. And it all came off so different. It came off so genuine. It came off so off the cuff that you can hear it here as this is my wrestling promo. This is the part where I get fired up and I yell for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, the part that made this even better. Fox says this man has 5 different supervillain origins. Who was writing his stuff? DC movies? Yeah. But like I said, Spinner Fox, if your origin is all of these things combined made me this asshole, sure. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't one thing. Maybe that one thing wasn't enough. The second thing, okay, maybe starting to get on my nerves, right? You can say that they're all tied together, but his character never does. But what I'm saying is the part that made it even better is Regal. Regal's cutting this promo back, and the whole time MJF's talking, Regal's smirking, smiling at him like, you fool. You're giving me a ton of rope to hang you with, and I know how to tie a knot. Mm-hmm. And giving him this whole look like, I don't even think I believe you. MJF's whole thing, I wanted to kill myself because I didn't get this one job when I was 19, was so fucking pandering. My problem with this promo is it was as babyface as MJF has ever been, and it doesn't fit. Then Regal goes and grabs the mic, and he cuts the most vicious, well-spoken, natural promo I've ever heard on their TV. He schools him and completely undermined everything MJF said. And it was amazing. And I was all like, oh, this is like watching Broadway with a high school actor. You know what I mean? Like, this is a dude who is the best actor in his high school going at an audition to Shakespeare on Broadway. You don't know. There's levels to this, right? And Regal is such a high level. He might be the best talker. Second, maybe to Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? Maybe. Regal was so good. It was amazing. Regal was absolutely amazing, and I thought it completely crushed and undermined everything MJF said. And MJF's entire promo was about how much he hates Regal, how he wanted to kill himself because he didn't get a job at 19, how he got 3 emails from a dude. Okay. And then Regal came back with all the best stuff. It was so good. I don't know. I loved Regal here, and I thought that he absolutely schooled MJF.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that that was by design, because I do think that both those guys are smart enough, and I do think that they're both capable enough, that I do think it's possible that by design, MJF was going to be overreacting in this promo to such a way that Regal can spank him to maybe create a reason for them to be partnered up. You know what I mean? Like, that could work.
Yeah.
And it could be.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got worked. And I like getting worked.
Regal
make
made
sense?
the promo, though. No. He made the promo.
Yeah.
Because I think he saved it from the disaster it normally is to, I just shut you up.
Yep.
And you're going to listen, you're going to take this and it's going to soak in your brain. And because it needs to. And I think that really I think it's more powerful to set that tone and the eventual match, the match with Mox. It's good that it's getting set up this way.
Yeah.
Because hearing Mox and MJF yell at each other, I really don't want to hear that.
No.
No need. This is where, it should be at. And I don't know. So I just feel like this is where it should be.
Yeah.
And
And I feel
there's no way that MJF could answer any of that back without looking like a buffoon. So.
Yeah. And then that was it too. Later on in the night, MJF comes out. We'll talk about it when that happens. We'll get to there because we don't have a lot to get to before then. Fox to say Regal and Yuta turn heel. You can see it. MJF calling Yuta a great wrestler. It could happen. That's true. You could absolutely have the Blackpool Combat Club split up, and you can have Yuta and Regal join MJF, and you can have Daniel Bryan, Mox, and Cesaro stay together, and maybe even bring in Daniel Garcia down the line. Whatever. Do they really need Regal?
No.
Where's MJF from? Some part in New York. What part? Long Island?
Long Island. Mm-hmm. The LI.
Mm.
Is that what Cardona does?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he
Or
does
Zack
like
Sabre?
that.
Or Zack Ryder?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to think, because Blackpool Combat Club was cool, because Regal's from Blackpool, but no one else is. So if they catered a similar thing to MJF, could do like Montauk something, Hampsteads, whatever, Hamptons. Spin Fox says Swiss. What is he doing? Catering? Yeah, probably. So Chris Jericho has a match here with Dalton Castle. Chris Jericho's calling himself the Ocho, which is clearly just a rip off the guy from football.
I don't think of him. Oh, Chad Ochocinco?
Yeah.
That guy? Oh no,
Yeah.
I always think of fucking when I hear the Ocho, I would think of dodgeball.
Or
ESPN
basketball. Yeah, ESPN 8, the Ocho. Yeah.
The
Was it
Ocho?
dodgeball? Yeah.
Yeah, it was dodgeball.
Okay, so Dalton Castle, they have this video package that I thought was really good because it made me understand more about Dalton Castle, and I didn't know much. I've heard a lot about him. I've heard a lot of people say he'd be perfect for WWE. As much as I think this was a great job they did here explaining who he was and showing him, I also just am not into him. I didn't like it. I didn't like him.
No, you don't know why you don't like it.
Huh.
It's kind of that comedy. It's very tongue in cheek.
Yes.
Okay.
It was very parody.
Yeah, and it's in that same vein, almost of like Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Which made me think he's perfect for AEW. But when I asked somebody about it, I was like, why do you guys think he's great for WWE? And like, because he's very much aware of the sports entertainment aspect and staying in character, and this character's very loud and vibrant. I go, yeah, but the character's also making fun of everything. Like, he's a parody of it. Like, what makes some of the funny guys in WWE is that they take themselves seriously as a character. AJ's hysterical because his character never seems to be making a joke. He seems to be walking himself into goofy situations and saying things on accident, but he takes it very seriously. Sami Zayn's taking everything he says and does very seriously, but he's hysterical. Dalton Castle doesn't take himself seriously. Orange Cassidy doesn't take himself seriously. The Elite don't take themselves seriously. The joke is that they're joking about it. The joke is the parody. So it's just, to me, he's a perfect fit for AEW, and I think that I understand exactly why a bunch of people like him, but I don't think he's my style. He was fine in the match. The match wasn't bad. Jericho and Dalton.
He's had a long time to recover from his back injuries.
Yeah.
But he's a one back injury away from hanging it up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Even if it's something minor.
That sucks.
Why do you think he wears those high-waisted pants?
I did think, yeah. I thought he had like it looked like one of those like back braces down there.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox, his best part of the match was Dalton's entrance. Sure. I mean, I thought it was fine. I just didn't think, like, I'm never going to watch the match again. It was fine. He seemed good, but nothing about his character I liked, and I don't like this Ocho thing, and I don't care about Jericho as a Ring of Honor champion. And
one thing that always had killed me was that they let Dalton Castle be the Ring of Honor champion, and Colt Commander never was. And Dalton Castle won it during Colt Commander's return to ROH.
Did it bother you because they're both jokes?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Colt Commander's not a parody of anything. Colt Commander is his own like weird entity. Yeah, exactly.
No, I like Colt a lot. And the more I see with him and the more I see him do stuff, the more I like him. So
he's making it.
I want to meet him proper one day. I kind of like, I eyeballed him once and we looked at each other and I was kind of like,
you eyeballed him
because I was looking at his table.
Oh.
And he had everything set out and I was staring at the North American title and he said something about it, like, oh yeah, it's the NWA, and I was like, it's pretty cool. And I just kind of kept walking because I was like, no, that's that podcast guy.
He's more than that podcast guy.
Now, Spinnerfox says, Ring of Honor has too much airtime on an AEW show. Pull the damn trigger and make Rampage an ROH thing. I think, if I'm being honest, Splinterfox, based off of the rumblings I've heard, and you heard it here first, but probably not, I do think that AEW is very close at closing a deal with HBO now to stream all the ROH product, and I do think we're going to get an ROH program on HBO exclusively. That's my thought.
Nice, and then Ricky Starks is going to feel like, well, if we're on HBO, then I'm going to, I'm my dream girl going to die. Sorry, that just went off. Sorry.
Oh my god.
That would burn fucking Punk so bad, though.
It'd be great.
You send your mortal enemy over to something that could be on HBO and give him a bigger platform. Yeah. Smart move. Smart move, Phil.
Yeah, way to go. Let's see. Main event was Moxley Hangman Page. Match was fine. I didn't have any issues with it in general up until the event, right? So I thought they were working well together. I wasn't watching super closely to everything, and I didn't rewind back. Did Moxley get busted open by his eyebrow, or did he cut himself? From the placement, it looked like he might have just actually nicked his head.
I think it was an accident.
I think so too, which I thought was cool because it made him look tougher.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I didn't go back to watch because at the same time I was like, look, this is fine. This is fine, and it's working, and it's cool, and it's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the match is happening, and then Adam Page. So this lariat happens. I've seen it now from 3 or 4 angles. I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of in-ring competitor and I know what's what or who's at fault or anything like that. From the angles I saw, it looks like Moxley went for a lariat. It looked like it kind of hit Paige in the head, and it looks like Paige didn't fully rotate. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means he was knocked out before he went down. I don't know if that means he got knocked out on the fall down. I don't know if it was just high is where you go when the dude's going to flip. I don't know. I'm not saying Mox is at fault at all. I'm not saying Hangman's at fault at all. I have no idea. I think both these dudes are actually very good. And I was actually surprised that Paige would have gotten hurt in a match against Mox because I feel like both those guys take pretty good care of their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So it does feel like whatever it was a basic miscalculation. You know what I mean?
But I also think that in the same aspect, because when you look at Hangman's feet, that I felt like he didn't get
up very high.
No, but he did get hit. But then it also was kind of like at the same time because he was in that motion to, swing the body. That like he just the footing was lost. His footing was lost there too.
And that could have also been why Moxley went high, right? It could have also been that his feet were tripping over himself, and that by the time Moxley got to his head wasn't supposed to be there.
And
you know what I mean? Because I've seen people go back and forth. Yeah, it just happened to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people going back and forth, and all I'm saying is I don't think that's our place to go back and forth because it looks like a lot went wrong in that moment, and I'm sure both guys are A, regretful of that moment, and B, so happy it wasn't worse.
Yeah. Well, I think also too a lot of if anything, even though he kind of got hit, I think it was the impact of how his face landed on the mat.
I think so too, because it hit pretty good.
Yeah, it hit in an angle in a way that I'm like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
And that would take a lot of people out.
Yeah.
I think take anyone out just because. Yep. The way it kind of hit, it wasn't like he kind of hit on its side like that, side and down. Yeah, that's not a normal way to fall. You either fall on your face or you whatever. But it was face was in a weird position.
I agree. It was weird and it sucked. And I saw some people trying to say they thought it was a work to get MJF out there. I think all of that was inaudible. Spinner Fox says that Moxley has that Nate Diaz scar tissue. That's funny. He goes, I'm gonna play devil's advocate though. He goes, Mox has now hurt Phil and Paige. Just saying. Also, they were way too close to the turnbuckle. The spot should have been more centered to the ring, maybe. Depending on how he fell or where he fell, like I don't think that was a factor on him being injured. Maybe that's just like a hindsight detail where you could always say like, it's probably better to go in the middle for something like that. But I don't think it would have made a difference where they were.
No, because that normally those shots get landed everywhere.
All over the place. Yeah. I've seen those get landed on the apron. Spinner Fox says the reverse backflip from the back suplex was scary too prior to the injury. Yeah, and who knows what kind of fatigue or kind of other kind of rattlings they could have had that could have contributed to that. Said Paige almost landed on his head there. I will say as far as like Moxley hurting Phil got hurt in every single match he was in, and most of the time it was his own fucking fault.
Phil's a puss. Phil's a puss.
Yeah.
And you know what? If Mox injured him, absolutely. Or whatever.
Actually,
but he's a puss.
I wouldn't even get mad.
That's on UFC. My God.
Yeah.
The guy, he talks a lot of shit. But he's the softest person I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yes. I wouldn't even, if someone offered me money to get into a fight with Punk, I wouldn't even like ask how much. I would just be like, okay, I'll take money.
Hold on. You don't have to pay for it. And it said, just hold my phone, video this.
Yeah.
Hold on, I would look in the phone. Hold this one's for you, and just wham.
Oh yeah, dude looks glass jaw as fuck. So that happens, and it's unfortunate. And clearly, they're trying to kill time because there's still like 10 minutes left in the show, almost. Probably not 10, like 5.
I also wanted to make this comment. I'm glad it was Paul Turner in the ring, and not anybody else.
Yes.
Because
I thought that too.
Because Paul, I mean, I know a lot of people like to make fun of Paul Turner, like, I didn't see this and that, the refs, but he saw it all, and the impact from getting punched and the whole flippy because of also his positioning. And when he
Yes.
immediately went to Hangman, I'm like, something is really,
Not only
serious.
did he go to Hangman, he got between Hangman and Mox. So
Mhm.
Mox would have to get over him to get to Paige so he could tell Mox not to. Mox also wasn't stupid and wasn't rushing it and stuff like that. Mox was very receptive. But Paul stayed between the two of them so he could,
Then when Paul went over to him, and probably told him,
well, and he could even
Don't
like
go
talk, he even talked over his shoulder towards Mox at certain points. He's looking at him, he's talking, he stayed between them. So his positioning, I'm saying, was super beneficial to the health of Hangman and the ability to continue the story and knowing they're on live TV and having Mox not look worse than he may look if he got. Imagine if he was knocked out and he just grabbed him like they've done some of these other guys. Paul's like, that's not going to happen when I'm in the ring, and didn't. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys just start grabbing people by the head while they're knocked out. We see it all the time over there. It's crazy. So yeah, Paul Turner did an amazing job.
yeah. I think Aubrey Edwards probably would have just sat there for a minute and then, reacted. She would have been probably the slowest to react. I think if you were to say who would be the next person who probably, if you were to say if you had a ranking system, I think the second one actually shockingly would probably be Bryce Remsburg.
Actually, I think Steven Smith is still over there, and he's very good. He came from NXT.
Is Steven Smith still there? I didn't know if he
Actually,
was
now
still
you mention it,
there.
I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he didn't last because he's
I
good.
was gonna say, I haven't seen him in a while, but if he's there, I would put him there.
Yeah.
But Bryce Remsburg, and the only reason why I say that
because
too
he
is,
cares.
remember, he was doing GCW and those types of shows for a long time because that was his area that he lived in. So definitely because he's
Finn Fox says, imagine if Edwards was in the ring, that'd be scary. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Hangman might be dead.
Yeah.
Let's go there. I fucking hate that bitch. I would hate her even more.
Yeah. She's terrible. Let me see. So because they did say this afterwards, and we'll get to the other thing in just a second. Hangman Page was taken to they said it on their website, on their Twitter, was taken tonight by medical personnel to a Cincinnati trauma center and was diagnosed with a concussion. He was discharged and will remain in AEW's concussion protocol, which I thought immediately brought up a couple questions. A, when did you guys get concussion protocol? And B, isn't your concussion protocol to drag them through the rest of the match anyways? Isn't that what they show us week after week? That their concussion protocol is. I was all like, uh-oh. They're going to make him go back out there and finish the match. Yeah, so they said that. So, I mean, luckily it was a concussion and not a broken neck, not nerve damage. The guy's going to be okay. Whether or not he can ever wrestle again is going to be up to their doctors and all of that, and that is one thing. And that is always unfortunate if it gets to that point. You don't want too many concussions, obviously, right? All that. But
they like Guevara.
If there's a trade-off, well, yeah, they don't have actual concussion protocol, but I'm saying, depending on how Adam Page talks to his doctors, could be different than how Sammy Guevara talks to his. And all we know is Tony's not talking to any and just taking people's words for shit. So if Page decides he doesn't want to risk that anymore because he's got a kid, like, I would get it, And all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, when it comes to injuries, it makes it, if you have to end your career and one of them allows you to walk away and one of them wouldn't allow you to walk away, if an injury's going to do it, I think that's the one to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and I mean, like, and that's obviously that's beyond speculation. He's not anywhere commented on the idea of potentially retiring. I'm just saying, yo, that dude's got a brand new baby. That was really fucking close. That kind of thing can scare a person. That kind of thing could make someone reevaluate everything they're doing. And he's been in the news for a lot of negative stuff. And he's been backstage dealing with a lot of negative things. So it wouldn't shock me. I'd be bummed, but I wouldn't be shocked. And I think that most importantly, support him in whatever decision he makes, because whatever decision he's going to make is going to be the decision that's best for him and his family based off all the information that none of us have. That's all I'm saying, Spinner Fox says, I bet it all happened after Cole got one. Shouts to Jay for knowing Cole was in danger. Yeah. Who was in the ring with Cole when he got concussed? You said Jay, and the only Jay I can think of is Jay Lethal. I don't think he was in a match with Jay Lethal.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. So Pinafox says, Jay White and Okada. Oh, yeah. Mr. Fox says, AEW is totally falling apart from injuries and is one problem. Yep, the wife could say you're done. Go back to being a teacher. That's true. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. And all I'm saying is this is scary, and he's got a lot to think about. And if he comes back, I'll be more than happy to watch his matches and his promos when he comes back. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to wish him the absolute best and thank him for what he gave us while he did. You know, like, they're going to know more than we are. Oh,
I would be a little sad because
sure.
I was supposed to do some stuff for Hangman, which I didn't get to do. But
gear? Mm-hmm. Gonna bedazzle some stuff?
He wanted blingy bandanas and my consultation on some bling. Not afraid of bling.
Yep. But then, so after the match, Moxie grabs a mic. MJF comes out. They're gonna pretend like they're gonna fight. They don't go to fight. MJF grabs a mic and says, "No, I want to do it when you're 100%, so I can talk about how I beat the shit out of you all the time." And says, "I'm gonna cash in at what's the next one? Full Gear." Mm-hmm. Which was a super babyface thing to do, to call your shot like that. Like, they're going heavy on MJF as a babyface, using mental health, using suicide, using calling his shot, like not trying to be underhanded, not having anybody come by his side and take care of business for him, being told by Regal that he has to do this on his own. Like, this is a super MJF babyface push. I don't think I love it, but I'm not against it entirely. He is getting cheered more than everyone else. As soon as the music hit, the arena just can't deny it. Mm-hmm. But I just think that his character works as an asshole who's meant to be booed, and I think although he does a good job of turning them to boo towards him, I think the more important thing is he's able to get people to cheer the babyface by the end of it, right? He's being cheered when he gets out, yes, but he is able to get the babyface cheered before he leaves, and that's important. Spin Fox says, "I wonder if he got a concussion from his headshot from the last week too." Yeah. So, I don't know. What do you think about the MJF babyface turn? It's pretty much in full effect at this point.
Weird.
Yeah.
It seems like booking 101, you have to have a bad guy and you have to have a good guy.
Yeah.
And I don't see Mox as either one. I see him as, he just is in the middle. He just does his own shit. He just does his shit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I was waiting for when Regal called him Sunshine. I was waiting for the whole fucking thing of when MJF was on Rosie O'Donnell's show and he sung "You Are My Sunshine." Mm-hmm. And then Lapel, made a limited edition pin, which, by the way, I do have an extra. Mm-hmm. It's cute. They only made, like, I think 100 of them or something. I have 2 of them. So if you want one more, I will gladly hand you one.
2 of what? Are you about the Colt Cabana plush?
No. Hold on. I'm going black on the screen. No. Let me show you. Hold on. I gotta pull it out.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Because I can't remember where I put it. Where did I put it? Hold on. Is it in here? Ooh. Okay, I don't remember where I put it. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Spinner Fox does say while you grab that he thinks it's a swerve. He's calling it now. There's no way not buying it. And I think that there's a big part of that too. Is it does seem like it. Because all his origin stories, he always ends up saying like, "Oh, you believed that? I was full of shit the whole time." Like even the CM Punk thing all came down to, "Oh, I was lying about it the whole time." And you, okay, well, I guess you're lying about it. So I could see that, and it would be a cool way to bring over Regal, I think. But
okay, can't find it. Hold on, coming back. Can't find it. Whoop. I'll have to find it and show you it.
All right.
I found my big box of pins. So I was like, oh, my wrestling pins. I have some for you to give you.
Okay. Oh, that's also, by the way, cheers and happy birthday to Miss Amanda Jane. We do have something for you that, due to this week being busier than we expected, we didn't mail out, but it will be mailed out probably this weekend. So
This birthday, I was totally unexpected, and
you didn't expect your birthday?
Well, no, this week has been busy unexpectedly, but I did get 2 birthday shout outs from people that I adore. So thank you, Martin.
You had some shout outs?
And good. Slid in my DMs, little Marty. And another surprise one that I was shocked.
Osprey?
No, fuck no. Fuck no. No, he probably wished me death. Him and fucking Laura together. Got that bitch. No. Ricky. Ricky.
Very good. That's cool.
I expect that. So Cole Cabana.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Ooh, he's slacking.
No.
He's slacking.
No. But I did, at least I had to acknowledge. Yeah, there was one, I'm like, yeah, let's acknowledge back to the time when Colt Cabana got me like a really great birthday gift. I gave him a little shit about it though.
That's fine.
But it was great.
That's what Fox
got
says,
Marty to sing happy birthday to me. This was before Cameo, and people thought that it would be cool to like spend money and have someone like wish you a happy birthday or yell at you or whatever. Yeah. He begged Marty to Marty and Winston to make a message for me for my birthday. But also then again, he also did book a match on my birthday in California because at that time it was on a Thursday. So I lucked out. So happy birthday to me.
Sean Fox says, if Phil comes back to face MJF for the title, I'm so done. You're really going to give Phil the title again after all the injuries and bullshit?
No,
yeah,
okay,
if they do anywhere near that, that'd be ridiculous.
No one wants to see Phil versus MJF. I don't. We all know there's only one Jew. There's only one Jew anyone wants to see fight Phil.
Oh my god. All right, let's talk NXT.
Enough said.
Oh my god.
It's gonna happen. So it'll happen.
A bunch of Dynamite I was kind of in and out of. This NXT, I know they did really heavy because they're directly against NBA and such. Oh, that was the other thing. People going back and forth about like how they felt that, or that they were trying to say that there's an edict in WWE that they could not lose the ratings against AEW the night that they're going head to head the same night and all that. Such bullshit. I don't believe that for 3 seconds, given that the amount of interviews we've heard from people who worked in NXT at the time, but Triple H himself saying like, yeah, it's a thing, but we don't care when they win that. Like, that's not what we're doing. We're here to make our network happy, right? Like, they've never given a shit about how AEW is doing long-term wise or even short-term. Like, they're more concerned about what they're doing when they need to do it, right? So they had massive competition from the NBA at the same time. And so they put a bunch of main roster talent on their show, and I'll be honest, I feel like it made the show a lot better than it's been. Even though it didn't seem necessarily like cohesive in storyline, because like Shotzi Blackheart is out here all of a sudden, and what for? And Rhea and Roxanne are having a match, and is there really much of a story there? Not really. Their presence and their ability and the way that they were all able to raise each other's stock and who they're in the ring with made the show seem so good to me. I enjoyed almost the entire thing.
Same here.
There's a few bits here and there where I was like, man.
I love Cora Jade and
Raquel.
That was
good.
It was so good. It was like really humbling Cora Jade, and I thought that was a really good way to do it.
The only thing that was upsetting about it is that Raquel hasn't had matches that good on SmackDown. Why is all of her good stuff in NXT? What's going on with her? She's shaken by the big arenas or something.
Maybe. And because remember, when you were in that smaller kind of crowd environment, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, I'm with 10 million people. Some people it doesn't click, and others it does right away. You know.
Yeah,
and
she's
it also
struggling.
I also think it depends on what you're having them do as well.
Mm-hmm. I thought Roxanne and Rhea worked amazing together. I loved that
Mm-hmm.
match. And Rhea, I thought, did an amazing job of looking like and acting like she was a bigger deal than when she left. A lot of them leave and come back and say, "Look at me, I'm a big deal again." And I'm the same big deal I was when I left. Like, they come in at the same level almost, right? Like, but guys like Finn and Rhea, when they come back, it's, I'm a bigger star than ever. Like, boom. Like, if you thought I was good then, wait till you see this now. Like, yeah, it's incredible. And Rhea did an amazing job of that, and I thought she did an awesome job raising Roxanne's stock.
Mm-hmm.
I even thought that the Good Brothers did an amazing job with Cameron.
Okay, let me tell you. I'm not going to lie. I was a little upset when it was an LA night.
I was shocked.
And then I sat there, I wept a little in fetal position. And I was like, I don't get it. But then again, they did have time on Impact. But I'm like, I would be pro Cameron Grimes joining the Bullet Club. But anyway, at
this point.
But yeah, yeah, woo, to the moon and Japan. Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but I was actually, it was kind of a nice little, it was nice to see that. It was nice to see Gallows and Anderson do, some kind of, do something.
It was really good, and I was really surprised at how good they've been doing, how good they were on Raw. I was surprised at how, I feel like with a third person, they bounce off so well. And when it's just the two of them, they get out of hand. And I feel like they need a little bit of a balancing, The way they were with Cameron Grimes was awesome.
Oh, yeah. No. That's where I was like, okay, I can get out of the fetal position and stop crying. Because I'm like, yeah. Because I was like, God, LA Knight, man, him and Jesus Christ. I'm like, that just.
Yeah, the fact it wasn't LA Knight, I was immediately like, that's weird, but the Grayson Waller.
But I like what we got.
Yes.
Like what we got. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was also amazing to open up with Rhea and Roxanne. I just can't put that match over enough. I've watched that match 3 times.
Yeah. And then a part of me was like, maybe they should have saved that for a little bit later.
Yeah. That could have main evented, I think. But I get why it didn't. And then Stacks with the surprise opponent being Shinsuke Nakamura. I did not see coming at all. The idea that Tony D'Angelo got him that. I love that afterwards Tony was congratulating Stacks for staying in the fight. Like, the kayfabe concept that there's no way I expected him to beat Shinsuke, but I didn't want him to give up so easy.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to fight till the end? Like, how much do you got in you? And for him to be proud of Stacks for lasting as long as he did and never giving up, I thought was amazing. I thought that was such a cool way of telling that. Like, yes, he shouldn't win against Shinsuke. And also, it's not a bad thing to lose to Shinsuke. You know what I mean? Like, it also, you know what I mean? Like, it solidified Shinsuke. Not that Shinsuke wasn't solidified, but, like, it also showed that, like, losing to Shinsuke is also, like, a fine thing. Like, when someone loses to John Cena, you go, oh, well, I mean, it's John Cena. You know what I mean? For NXT to treat Shinsuke that way, where it's all like, hey, a loss to Shinsuke is inevitable. But how long do you last in a match with Shinsuke? You know what I mean? Like, that was cool. I thought it was subtle.
That was a cool moment. Yeah.
Twitter Fox says that Rhea is almost Bailey level of can't be touched. I mean, tell that to Dom.
Yeah.
Alba Fire versus Sonya Deville. Sonya's a little choppy still, the way she moves. But I thought it was a fine match. Alba Fire winning was cool. I really liked Mandy Rose's return. I'm excited for her to be back. I'm excited for her to feel good enough to come back. She went through a lot.
Yeah.
So, I was down. But the match itself was, was what it was. It was a mechanism to buy some time.
Yeah.
So. You have anything on that or no?
No, I mean, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
would have liked to have been a little bit better, but you know,
Yeah.
it did what it needed to do.
Yeah. Do you still think? Because I still feel like that Alba Fire is the right one to take the title off of Mandy.
You know, I feel in my gut that it's gonna happen, but I can kind of feel in a way because of what's been going on with Mandy. Not yet.
I'm not saying
You
yet,
know?
but I'm saying when. I feel
Yeah.
like Alba Fire
When,
loses
yes.
this one,
She'll
and
get it.
then
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, or whatever the next little thing is, then Alba Fire gets it. But I feel like
Yeah, I think
Halloween
so.
Havoc Mandy retain.
Yeah, I think so.
Fern
Or it's
Fox
going to
has
be
no
something
Indy.
where
That's so stupid. Indy's nowhere near championship material.
yeah, no, but I think I think if anything, like there's going to be some kind of interference, something or other, that they're going to have a rematch. That's how I'm
Yes.
feeling about that one.
And I think the rematch Alba wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that point too, you just bring Toxic up to the main roster wherever you need her.
Yep.
Where do you need a crew? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I don't remember anything of Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams against Wesley and Oro Mensah. I see it written down here. I don't remember it at all.
It was okay, but honestly, like I feel that
And I watched it today.
Wesley, he needs his due. He needs his win, his big moment in the sun. You know. And
Yeah.
I fear that it's it's not going to happen, but he needs it.
And Melo's one too, where I don't understand what he's doing anymore. You
Yeah,
don't have
Melo, I'm like, dude, why are you still down here?
Yeah, move.
Yo,
move along.
Yeah, why are you down here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even mean that in like a bad way. I'm not saying like you don't belong here. I'm just saying like you
No,
are
no,
good
I'm
enough
just
to
like,
move on. Like, what are you
There's
doing?
a lot. First weekend, he was already. Why are you even starting here? You should be here.
You know who he'd be a great tag team partner for?
Hmm.
Mustafa Ali.
I see that.
I think they could do awesome shit in the tag team
I don't
division.
know why that Mustafa Ali does not get a lot of love. The guy's good.
He's good. I do think that if I had to venture a guess, knowing nothing and just being an idiot on TV, and with all due respect, because I actually really like Mustafa as a person and all the interviews I've seen of him, I do feel like sometimes I get glimpses of potentially a big ego. And I wonder if some of the times it's like they've said in Bruce's podcast, how sometimes your biggest your biggest advocate could be your biggest poison. Sometimes someone speaking too much too often about you can hurt you, because sometimes it becomes like we're tired of hearing that person over and over again, just being brought up for no reason. And I wonder if sometimes the way he delivers things backstage, maybe, or his ego on stuff, could have been falling on deaf ears a lot, or just become too much. And I'm wondering if Triple H being in charge could be really helpful for him, because he also was a 205 guy that was a Triple H guy. So
yeah,
maybe he can communicate better with him.
Is that why Lindsay Dorado's going back, right?
That I have no idea.
Because he all of a sudden was like, oh, he's stopping taking bookings in after December.
What would you do with him?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not even trying to be a dick, but like, I mean, the biggest thing he ever was a part of was Lucha House Party, and what would that do?
I know. I don't know. I'm just saying, we're gonna have Lucha House Party.
He's a pretty good talker, though. If I remember correctly, seeing some interviews, he speaks perfect English.
Oh yeah, he's a nice guy.
Do you think you throw him in like a legato? Do you think you go that route? You think go that simplistic?
Maybe.
I just don't know. But we're not the ones who have to write the TV,
guy?
so we don't have to know.
But is he a Triple H guy?
I was about to say, I was thinking about Kalisto on accident, because I was about to say that he's good friends with Sasha, but I think it's Kalisto who's doing all the stuff with Sasha right now. Because I think they're trying to do everything they can to smooth that bridge over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sprinter Fox
says, I know
says,
he was the 205 guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I met him. Well, that was an interesting story. But yeah. I've known him for a little bit.
Yeah. He seems like a total badass too. Like, I'm not trying
He
to
is
talk shit on the guy.
badass. Cool dude. He's good people. He's totally good people.
If someone said you can fight Lince Dorado or CM Punk, I'm taking CM Punk without flinching.
Yeah.
And I'll know I'm
Lince
safer.
Dorado can be a little. I will say this. I've seen him unmasked.
The way you said that sounds disgusting.
What?
But isn't he a BJJ guy?
Maybe.
Like, I think he won a competition for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So, the dude's a fucking maniac.
So. Yeah.
Spin Fox says that's the problem. Or he goes, that's why a year later, Mandy can hold the belt for another year. I'll be honest, I wouldn't even be mad about it. I know Justin Time, if he's listening, would be really mad about it, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, all Mandy, all day, every day. Let's do it.
Yep.
He goes, that's a problem though. If all these people move up, what are they going to do with the airtime? Triple H is already showing us he is a faction guy. This dude is faction hungry. The way that Kevlar, former Ironic, no, I say it just because he hasn't been on, but he's not former, massive stable guy, and that's one of the things that Kevlar kept talking about in the Attitude Era that's missing now is all the factions. And people going back and forth, even on the old podcast, we'll talk about what made factions great is you have Nation of Domination versus Degeneration X as a faction versus faction, bring in Disciples of Apocalypse. Now you can have one 10-minute segment where 15 people get airtime and you build the tension between individuals within there. And now you've got 5 storylines between 15 people in 10 minutes. I think Triple H is smart enough to do it in a way that Tony Khan is not, if I'm being honest. Because he also says that you're just talking about a lot of stables, but you don't like stables in AEW, too many stables either way. It really depends on how you do it. And the problem with Tony's way of booking it is that he keeps it messy and sloppy and nonsensical. If there's a reason for these factions together, like Judgment Day is working. I think that it's possible is what I'm saying. And I think Triple H is smart enough to do it in a smart way. And when you think about all the factions in the Attitude Era, it was done very smart and really well. The problem with the factions in AEW is that they're just booked so messy because he doesn't know what he's doing. And because he's leaving a lot of it up to the talent. Hey guys, you go out there and figure it out. You know? I'm not saying it's definitely going to work. I'm just saying I have more faith. You know? In that particular thing. And we're always happy to eat some old crow around here and say that we were dead ass wrong on it. So there's also that. Spin Fox, the only stable that matters in WWE is the Bloodline. They are way OP, can't be touched. That's because they got Sami Zayn, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. Dude, once you got Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa teaming up, how do you think you could touch him? That's the definition of untouchable. You got an honorary Uce and the Street Champ? What more do you need to know?
The Rock's gonna beat him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Not if Sammy's got anything to say about it. Let's see, moving along.
But
What?
if Sammy shows up in Fast and Furious 10, we know why.
Oh. Dude, I feel like Sami Zayn is a Paul Heyman style lifer.
Mm-hmm.
But can you imagine if Sami Zayn did a few movies? He'd be amazing.
Probably would have done a better, more impactful job in Fast and Furious.
Than Roman?
Or Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. Wait, was he in Hobbs and Shaw?
He was in Hobbs and Shaw. Look, I don't want to talk shit on the tribal chief like this, but you're right.
I am.
Everyone getting tired of Black Adam, and them ads are pissing me off. Dude, that's my favorite part about the Zoas, is they put Black Adam on it, and now they're more expensive.
I'll tell you right now, that with The Rock winning, okay.
Winning what?
I'm not. He's gonna beat whatchamacallit. Isn't that the
way.
match? What do you mean? No way. That's the damn motherfucking. That's the real goddamn fucking.
The Rock is a jabroni. He's never been tribal chief.
He's going back to claim it, okay? He's going back. I'm gonna ask like Roman Reigns, hey, your tattoos, Did you get him the real way? Because that big old
No
one The
shit.
Rock did, he got him the real fucking Samoan way. With the
Yeah.
fucking whalebone and the fucking
Yeah.
rusty little thingy. Yeah. You're a
Yeah,
man
shit's
when you
legit.
fucking get that shit done.
Although I want to say, if I remember correctly, watching the thing, I believe Jey Uso was getting him the traditional way as well, but they fade so much that way that he started getting them touched up the traditional tattoo way, not the traditional Samoan way, just so it would last longer and be more vibrant.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of crazy, but I mean at the same time, I guess I guess I don't know. It's just not my culture, right? I really can't speak on behalf of it, but I guess if I'm trying to, it's got to be at least a balance, right? When you're a TV star, you don't want it to look a certain way on TV, but you don't.
Well,
So maybe if you've already
wanna-
had it, but then the touch-ups are a different way, then maybe that's kind of a nice little compromise.
I
don't know.
don't know.
I just have no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot. Let me see.
They fade, but they don't fade like a regular tattoo when it gets kind of grayish green.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ink. Yeah. So, but obviously you'd want to touch it up to make it look crisp. And of course, the time that it takes to get it originally done, depending on what you had and where.
Oh, it's
But I
massive.
remember, I think The Rock, he was saying when he did his, it was like 30 hours.
Yeah.
Not
Spin Fox says
straight,
there's
but-
video of it, that Roman did it that way. The other thing is this. So I'm going to say this only because producer lady lived in Hawaii for a long time, and I got to know some Hawaiians, and we went out there and did some stuff, and we learned some about the tattoos and the tradition of it. The chief has way more tattoos than what Roman has. So for being the tribal chief, he should have both arms, the chest. He should have his legs. He should go up on his
but-
sides a little bit.
That,
If he's the
that-
tribal chief.
But, hello, he's a sports entertainment tribal chief.
He's got the universal title, and that's all it takes nowadays. So that's the other thing. All those other chiefs, they never had the universal title. So they needed that stuff to prove it. Roman didn't need it because he's got the universal title. That makes sense. Culturally speaking, that makes more sense.
Well, culturally speaking, I would think that the chief, isn't it ranked also with like elders and stuff, because elders are very respected in that aspect. So
Probably.
that's why I'm saying The Rock. But anyways,
Depends on who comes down and wins in the fight. You know what I mean?
Rock.
Sprinter Fox says, have you seen this leg? Maybe he does. Maybe.
Yeah,
So then we did have a Schism versus OC, which we talked about. I thought the whole match went great. And I'm liking Joe Gacy again more. Like, I'm all over the place with Joe Gacy. I think he just needs direction and time to do it. And I think that when he loses direction or time, we just kind of go like, I don't know anymore. But every time he's given a direction and time, you go, oh yeah, this guy is very good at this. I enjoyed the contract signing between Nikita, Zoe, and Kaden and Katana. That was fine. Cool. I'm ready for it. I think it's going to be a good match. I didn't even notice this. Julius Creed and Damian Kemp had a backstage split screen interview. Didn't even notice that happened. I must have thought it was a
I didn't
commercial.
either.
Okay.
I didn't either.
Shotzi Blackheart came out. Well, just Shotzi now. My apologies to the Blackheart Batan. Shotzi came out, said she's gonna no one's more Halloween than her. Oh, 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 oh. Zion Quinn comes out. This is my thought on Zion Quinn, and I want you to tell me what you think. The dude obviously has a great look. He talks just fine. He sounds fine on the mic. Who the fuck is he? There's no character to him. And I don't even mean that in a way like I need a goofy gimmick or was he a dentist? Like, I don't even need that kind of shit. I'm just saying he's so void of anything tangible of character. You know what I mean?
It's dry.
He's dry and he seems aimless and pointless. He's just a guy with a name and a great look. And I'm not saying that that's not even a good start. I think it's a great start. But he came out talking like he was someone that we should all be like happy to see, which came off heelish, which is fine. So maybe he's a bad guy. But I was still kind of like, who the fuck are you and why is this? And then he said the one thing. He said that he'd be willing to bring the X Factor to Halloween Havoc. And I was like, oh, that's great because your name's Zion with an X. That would be an amazing thing to say if it made sense. And it just doesn't make sense. And it sounds too much like the Waller effect. You want the Waller effect on your channel, right? Now you want the X Factor. Yes, Zion Quinn is the X Factor. But what the fuck does that mean? Who is that? What are you? I just need some depth for him. You know what I mean?
I don't even know. And I've been trying to figure that out every time he's on TV. And I'm like, who are you? What are you supposed to be doing? Are you like just like a bootleg version of other people we've seen before? I don't understand. I don't know.
And I like him, but I'm not invested because he's nothing. He's no one.
It's like,
and I want him to put something together. You know what I mean? Add some meat.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of like,
And I think X Factor is a really good place to start. I'm the X Factor. Okay, cool. Great slogan. Great t-shirt. What does the X Factor mean? Who is Zion Quinn? What does getting the X Factor mean? Because getting the Grayson Waller effect is getting the social media clicks, right? It's getting that media attention because he's the fucking clickbait, right? What's the X Factor mean? Let's dig into that. Let's build into that because I think there's a lot of hope for this guy. I think there's a big future for him. I think he's immensely talented. And the match was a good match, even though, to be honest, I'm not really feeling the Quincy Elliott character. I think it's overt and stereotypical, and I don't think it's a good look. And it doesn't connect with me in a way that makes me feel like, of the dozens of gay people I know, I don't know any of them this sexually aggressive. And it just feels weird to watch it be this way. And all I can think about is if this was switched around, if there was a man doing this to a woman on the same TV show, would we accept it? And if the answer is no, then why are we accepting it here? Because the only answer of accepting it here, if the answer is no, is pandering. We're either pandering, patronizing, or we're being equal to. You know what I mean? So, and I don't even think Quincy Elliott's bad in the ring. I don't even think that his character in and of itself doesn't have legs. I think it does. I think it needs to be reined in the right way, and it could be fantastic. You know? I even think the Super Diva thing is good and clever if you do it the right way. I think it's cool. I just think that they're going way too heavy on sexually aggressive towards people who are not inviting it, that it's problematic. Like, this isn't even Big Valboski. Like, Val Venus was sexually aggressive, but the person he was being that way to was always receptive to. If Quincy Elliott was doing this stuff and it was towards people who wanted it or were accepting of it, it'd be completely different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then Quincy Elliott obviously wins, so he's going to be co-hosting Halloween Havoc with Shotzi, and I don't know what I'm supposed to make of that, but I guess that's what's going to happen, and maybe they have good chemistry, and maybe it'll be funny. I'll give it a shot. Do you have anything to add to any of that?
No, but I thought Apollo was hosting Halloween Havoc.
Nope, Shotzi is.
What was that weird bullshit with Chucky and all that shit then?
No idea. But Chucky's going to be involved somehow. He was involved last year, I thought, too, where, like, every now and again the wheel would spin and it would turn out it was Chucky who was spinning it or some weird shit. So, I think it'll be cool. And I do think there's a possibility, based off some of the tweets I saw, that Liv Morgan might be in an episode of Chucky and might be killed by Chucky. And if that happens, I'm going to watch that episode. And I'll be really happy for her. Chase University segment I saw twice without audio, and I don't regret that one bit. And then there was a backstage thing with Pretty Deadly and Edrius and Malik, and I didn't even realize that happened either. I skipped that. Maybe that's why I like this show so much. The stuff I watched, I focused on, and the stuff I didn't care for, I ignored like it didn't exist.
It was bundled together and
yeah, it was in these bundles, and then you move on. And then there was Cora Jade versus Raquel Rodriguez, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Fantastic. I even love the finish. Raquel grabs the kendo stick and just beats the shit out of Cora. Cora says, yay, I won. Even though she's got the shit kicked out of her. Like, great. Just fantastic. Raquel's there to do a job. Yeah. Raquel's there to help even the odds for Roxanne and beat the snot out of Cora. It doesn't matter if she gets the win. Cora's just like, I won, I got the W. Heelish shit. Such a good job by
and you
everyone
got your ass
involved.
beat.
Yep.
Ugh.
You got your ass beat, but I got the W. And then Roxanne comes out and jumps on her too. Like,
Yeah.
Roxanne and Cora are the future, man. Like, there's no bones about it. And then Kevin Owens did a Kevin Owens show with Ilya, Braun Breaker, and JD McDonough. And fuck, how are we gonna try and pretend Kevin Owens isn't one of the greatest talkers of all time?
Oh my god, I fucking this right here was a subtle reminder to me of why I fucking love Kevin Owens. Always have.
Yep.
The dad jokes in there. The just his overall sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And just everything. I mean, that's why I enjoyed when he did his own vlog when he was doing that for a while, because it just was like it was very him, you know, and it's endearing, it's hilarious. I love how the whole thing. Yeah, he's like, you're like JD, you're weird.
Yeah.
I talked to your mom. Your mom, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was great. Like, sorry, HBK, I'm gonna be over here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do my best. I was dying. I'm like, yeah, that's Kevin Owens, and it's like if people, like a lot of people don't think that. I know a lot of people who don't think that he's even remotely funny or whatnot, and I'm like, the guy is, it's unintentional humor.
I think he understands humor on such a deep level that.
Yeah. Well, look who his, like, one of his best friends is.
I know.
Cole Cabana.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Sami Zayn. I don't know why you went that other
No,
way.
well,
It
no,
doesn't make
but
any
yeah,
sense.
duh, but his other,
I mean, but it's
like,
Sammy.
it is Sammy, but his other
Sammy's
one
the
of
right
his other
answer.
is Cabana. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not funny like Sammy.
They're all in that little group. That was their little group of people. Like when in ROH, when Punk left, that was this little group of people. Because the one person who always kept telling him, "You need to come back," and he tried was Kevin Owens. Was trying to get Cole, and Cole's like, I'm not going back. And then he was like, no, but you know, they're always talking about you, and I'm always talking about you to them, and yeah, he's good people. Yeah. I love Kevin Owens. I love that he's bringing the panda enthusiast, the panda stuff back. I like that.
Oh, I bought that shirt. I don't know if I posted it yet or not, but I bought the panda shirt. Kevin Owens rules, and also pandas. Such a good shirt. But yeah, Owen Spinnerfox says, man, AEW dropped the ball on her dumbass con. Well, it sounded like. I didn't watch NXT. I think he's talking about Cora Jade, because she was doing a lot with AEW Dark for a while there. She was on a bunch. I think Elena Black was her name. And then all of a sudden she shows up in NXT, and people are all like, why didn't he sign her? And if I'm being honest, if I'm being truly honest, she might not be this good if she was over there. I don't think the coaching and the mentorship that they have in AEW is on the level that NXT has. So it's hard to say. Like Britt Baker. I'm not trying to shit on her, but here we go. Britt Baker, if she had gone to NXT, would be talked about now as one of the best in the business. I think her capability and her potential is vast, and I think that it's been stifled for 3.5 years. I don't think she's grown much in anything but attitude and ego, and her wrestling gets worse and worse. And I think that it just wouldn't be that way had she gone to NXT. I think she would have been pushed up instead of just pushed forward. You know what I mean? She's definitely the top star in AEW, sure, great. But when we were talking about greatest wrestling matches of women, if her name comes up at all, it's adjacent to Thunder Rosa for a reason. You know? And so I think that it's like tough to say. Elena Black, Cora Jade, has she stayed in AEW? Would she be as good as she is right now?
No.
Probably safe to say probably not. She's probably better for this. But I guess time will tell. We'll see. I don't know. I'm enjoying it either way.
Yeah. And I will also say this. Even at All In, that match that was Britt Baker, Madison Rayne, Tessa Blanchard, and I can't remember who. Chelsea Green. Everyone else, well, not really necessarily Madison Rayne, but everyone else looked better than Britt. But then again, I'm a huge Tessa Blanchard lover. support her.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green has gotten better now.
Is she?
I think so. She's better than she was, because NXT, I don't know, it didn't do her justice. But the stuff she does with fucking her husband, I love that stuff. And
anything Cardona's doing is great. Well, as far as her contributions to it, I don't know. I guess I don't see enough impact to make a judgment call, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was there anything else? Anything else you want to throw out there?
No. I'm excited to see Halloween Havoc. I really want Wesley to win. I don't know. I mean, I think of anybody who's in that match, he's the one who needs it the most. I think.
Who?
At this point, Wesley. That
Yes.
ladder match.
Yes,
He's
I
the
Think
one who
Wesley
needs
should
it
win
the
it.
most.
Yes.
I really hope that they don't take the belts off of Katana and
Caden.
Hayden.
I think they should retain for sure.
They should retain. Because there's bigger and better things for Nikita and Zoe Stark, and it's not tag.
That's true. They're going to be better solos.
Yeah, I mean, they're good together, but I mean, honestly, like, no.
It was forced for a storyline that didn't pan out, and now they're just trying to make it seem like it was not for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let them lose this one. Let them have a good showing. Let them go their separate ways. But let them always be looming in each other's stories. Do you need a hand? I got this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Because I think that's kind of like the real allure of Zoe Stark and her character. You need me? I'm there. I got your back. You know, and that's where I can really appreciate that part of it.
I agree.
God, I don't even know what else is happening with that I mean, care.
I want Braun to retain. I want Braun to retain, but this would be a good way to get it off Braun if you want to move him up, though.
Yeah, and I would put it on Ilya.
Yep, I'd have Ilya pin JD.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this during the Owens, sorry, segment is one of the things that I love about Ilya. God damn it. He's so passionate when he speaks. And sometimes I wish a lot of other people had that passion. I mean, the guy gets so fucking overexcited that he's like dripping buckets of sweat. It's like, okay, dial it down back a little. But, I mean, it you can't deny that. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Sternfax does say, why has Cardona not re-signed yet? I feel like that the conversation's got to be happening, right? Like, Cardona doesn't do everything he's done and not be on their radar. You know?
Well, he's number 13 on PWI 500 this year.
That's what I mean. Like, there's no way that Triple H isn't fully aware of what he's done with himself. And on the flip side, there's no way that Cardona isn't smart enough to take a lot into consideration, right? How much money is he making now versus when he was at WWE? What is WWE truly offering him? What would he come back and do necessarily? Like, I think he's established himself in such a way where he's got a lot more on his side of the bargaining chips this time. And I think that I don't think it's as clean cut as one phone call, I'll come back, whatever the number. You know what I mean? Like, I think they'd have to really talk it out.
He'd want something like, I need to be, the head of the person, this merchandising shit with these like figures and shit.
The Elite Squad with Sam Roberts. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But, like, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like that he is smart enough and has been around long enough to really make the decision based off of what is best for him in a way that we really couldn't. But I don't think for a second that they haven't called him. I think he's absolutely been in talks with them. I just don't know what it all means yet. You know what I mean?
I kind of don't see it happen. I don't. And the only reason why I don't is because I think that, because obviously the wife, would have to be a package deal. And personally, and it's not because I love the two of them and I love the Miz, but Miz and Maurice, man, it's hard to have another like couple in there, like a power couple. and WWE's the shit. And now they're traveling with their girls a lot.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Yeah, so I don't, that's where it would be a little hard. But I also think that Cardona has built himself such a great empire. Without it, he can do.
Yeah.
He's got his hands almost everywhere. But if they would do something with him that it's like, okay, kind of like what they do with like, The Rock or Cena here and there, have him show up every once in a blue moon. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll be honest.
If Cardona came back, I would be shocked to find out it was anything more than a 3-year deal. I wouldn't be shocked if he came back to a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah.
To be all like, I want to come back to see what we can do, and we could definitely revisit it in a year, but I don't want to end up stuck because I have so much good stuff going. If he's gone for a year and comes right back to it, it could be fine. But if he's gone for too long, then he's got to rebuild. Like, I'm just saying, I think the dude's super smart, and he has a ton on his side. Just don't know. I don't think that his finances are in shambles by any means. Fox says maybe he's making a shit ton of money now than he was in WWE. I think he's absolutely making as much or more than he was when he was in WWE through all the different things he's been doing. I think it's going to take more than just money to bring him back, because I think he's financially stable, and I think for the rest of his life stable. And I think that he's doing it because he likes it. He loves it. I think he makes good money doing it. And he's so happy right now doing it the way that he is that I think it's going to take a lot more than just a run to bring him back.
His
because
schedule, his schedule. Look at it. It's very light.
It's whatever he wants it to be.
Yeah, then whatever he wants to be. He's like doing NWA. Okay. They don't tape all the time.
But that's just it. Is that I've seen months where he seems to be doing 6 or 7 shows in a week, and then I've seen months where he doesn't do anything at all. And it's like, it's heavy when he wants it to be. It's not when he doesn't. He's in control of that, and that's a big deal. So.
Exactly. And I always found it funny that Tony Khan really fucked that one up.
Yes, that makes no sense. To bring him in for 3 spots and then be done with him, like, what are you doing? Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? Him, Jeff Cobb, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Makes no sense. Yeah.
That makes no sense at all. And I was like, that's the kind of guy you want there, okay? And he probably would have selfishly been all, I'll stick around. Let me work with the Jazzwares guys and, create these damn figures, because that's his big thing.
Yeah, but now he's making his own figures. Like Spenfox says, he's a partner of a figure company. Yeah, I think Super 7 or whatever, he's a partner of that company.
Yeah. Where's my Colt Cabana one that
no one wants that.
What?
No one wants that. He's trying to make products that will sell.
Bullshit. There's a vast number of people. I have that horrible one too.
Yeah. All of his figures are horrible.
Oh.
He had one in WWE, right?
They did not give Scotty Goldman no damn figure. Come on.
There was no Scotty Goldman figure?
No, there was not a Scotty Goldman figure.
All right.
The only WWE merchandise that Scotty Goldman got is a poker chip from Germany. Because I don't know why. That's the only one. And I think last time I saw one out there, it was going for, I should have bought it. It was going for like $1 something. But I was like, no, I don't need that. But I should have.
Spinnerfox says, I bet Matt didn't kiss Tony's ass, so that's why he ghosted him. You're probably not wrong. And
probably not wrong there. Probably not
from
wrong.
Conversations I've heard, I don't know that he was impressed when he was there of the company in and of itself, but I don't know. No. So, are you ready for last call?
Yeah, I'm ready for last call.
I think me too. Guys, check out WrestlingTheRocks.com/shop. Buy some cool merch. Pay me money. Get me some drinks. Check out Pro Wrestling Spotlight with John Arezzi. I've been doing producing over there. I've been a little bit on air here and there. It's been really cool. Go to youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Spotlight. For my buck, the YouTube is the best way to ingest that content. The video aspect of it has been really fun to put together and really cool. The audio is all well and good, but I can do more stuff with video than audio, so I jazz it up. Outside of that, keep let's see. Osman Fox says, how much for the Doink Ultimate Edition? I need to. I got that Macho Man now. I'm not sure if I want the Macho Man now. I gotta figure it out.
Oh yeah, people. I need a Darby. Can't find him. still. Yep, and Fashion Doll Ricky Starks over here.
Yep.
He's gonna have clothing soon.
Yep. And then keep track of Medusa's podcast, Paving the Way. You're gonna be seeing some familiar faces there soon. Outside of that, people can find you at MsAmandaJayne with a Y.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR the show, and we are thankful for all of you coming through, being our drinking buddies. Fox says, I, the head of the table for $20 from Target, and the Walmart special edition Cody on the way. The special edition, the LJN Cody, was pretty cool. Oh, the Supreme one I think he's talking about is the one where it's actually the AEW figure that he's in his WrestleMania gear. WrestleMania debut Cody is an AEW figure. It's fantastic.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that how it's labeled too?
No, but it's the
That'd
gear
be
he
cool.
wore and the jacket he wore.
Oh, his
And he's doing
Hamilton?
the pose. Yeah.
Oh, the Cody
amazing.
Hamilton gear.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, the Jacksonville
pretty
colors.
awesome.
He's talking about the LJN style figure. But all right, guys. Thank you for coming through, being our drinking buddies tonight. We'll be back next week right here in the dive bar of the IWC for a brand new episode 1. Guys, that's last call.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.